Next na. So the discussion would be the definition of social media, characteristic and types of social media, the impact of social media on society, navigating trends, practicing online etiquette, and conclusion. So before we would start the discussion, John Patrick Padilla would like to ask some questions.
So again, good morning guys. Dakay pa ba dita? Agrace kayo man hand no mga knock mo lang o react na lang kayo diyan. Okay, marami-rami naman. So before we start, alam naman natin na social media naging integrated na rin to sa atin. So I would like to know your thoughts muna bago natin simulan. Kung ano ba yung usually na ginagawa niyo sa social media? Ano ba yung mga pinoportray nyo pag nagso-social media kayo? For example, ako, nagso-social media ako kasi gusto kong manood for entertainment and mahilig din ako mag-share ng mga memes. So, your thoughts muna bago natin magsimula. It can be magre-raise ba ng hand dyan? May magre-raise ba ng hand dyan? Or pwede na kayo mag-open mic if you want to answer. Kasi pag walang magre-raise ng hand or kasi may nagre-prepare din ako sa ng spin the wheel para may equal chance kayo na sumungbat. Parang random sampling. O Jomer, nakakuha ka. Naka-raise hand ka. Can you share your thoughts kung ano ba yung ginagawa mo sa social media?
Social media is kumakalat tayo ng information or
Indeed. Tapos, kumukuha tayo ng information sa social media. Yun ang ginagamit ni Jomer. So, pwede mo na ibaba yung raise hand mo. So, let's start the discussion with the next slide. Definition of social media that will be discussed by Althea May Sabado.
So, definition of social media. Alam naman natin lahat what is social media, but I will be explaining the content. Social media is an internet tool that lets people quickly share ideas, thoughts, and information. It does this by helping them create online groups and communities. You use it on a computer, tablet, or phone to send and receive digital things like messages, photos, and videos. It's mainly used for fast electronic communication. So yun nga, nasabi na kanina ni John Patrick Padilla na ginagamit niya ang social media for entertainment, while Jomer Moniz, ginagamit niya yung social media para makapag-gain ng information and well-updated din tayo instantly sa mga nangyayari sa ating kapaligiran. So, focus doon sa mainly used for fast electronic communication. Okay, next. So, what is social media used for? So, people use social media for main two things, connecting with others and sharing about themselves. So, connecting with others, with social media ngayon is mas napapabilis yung contact natin sa mga families or friends natin kahit malalayo sila. And sharing about themselves, diba uso din naman yung mga sa mga iba't ibang social media platforms kung saan may mga vlog, daily life nila, ganon, posting updates, photos, and personal information nila. Next. So, may characteristics din sa social media. So, eto kung paano ito nag-work. So, ang una is participation. Social media encourages contribution and feedback from everyone who is interested. It blurs the line between media and audience. So dito, lahat-lahat pwedeng mag-contribute ng information, magbibigay ng feedback. Dito din, mas makikita lahat ng mga information and side ng bawat isa. Like yung mga opinions nila. Next is openness. It most social media services are open to feedback and participation. They encourage voting, comments, and sharing of information. There are rarely any barriers to accessing and making use of content, and password-protected content is frowned on. So sa openness naman, same din siya sa participation. Sa openness, hindi to nililimit lang kung sino lang dapat ang magbigay ng kanilang feedback at mga comments. So dito pwede ka mag-share. Especially din, common din to sa Facebook, yung may comments, sharing, tsaka yung mga voting din. So yung content dito is easy yung access niya. Accessible para sa lahat. Next is community. Social media allows community to form quickly and communicate effectively. Communities share common interests such as a love of photography, a political issue, or a favorite TV show. So dito, na-help ang mga tao na yung mga nag-share ng common interest nila like yung mga hobby or yung mga political issue. Ito yung mga forms ng group na mas mabilis yung communication nila at effective to. For example, yung mga group pages sa Facebook, may mga interest sa mga kani-kanilang hobby. So may mga crochet, anime, about sa politics. So yun yung community. Open to sa lahat, but depending sa interest ng bawat isa. Then last one is yung conversation. Whereas traditional media is about broadcast, social media is better seen as a two-way conversation. Aware naman tayo lahat what is conversation. So hindi lang like one way. So for example, from a company to the audience, from kung saan nanggagaling yung, parang for example, yung pag nagla-live, so everyone can comment or you can watch, tapos nagkakaroon din yun ng conversation kasi na kikihalubilo yung nagla-live tapos doon sa mga nagko-comments or yung mga nagjo-join din sa live video. Okay, next would be the discussion of different types of social media, which would be reported by Marian.
So, hello everyone. Today I will be discussing the different types of social media. So, these are social networking, bookmarking sites, social news and media sharing, microblogging and blogging, blog comment, and online forums. So, social networking. These sites provide a services that allows the users to connect with people of similar interests and background. So, dito, it helps connect with others who share similar hobbies and backgrounds. So, it makes easier to communicate with and builds relationship online. And on a social network, usually have a profiles, group, messaging, photos, and multiple other ways to interact with other users. So, alam naman natin yan na as long as you create a personal account and you can communicate with other people through video chat or exchanging messages, that is social network. And all that example allow people to stay connected or share content and communicate easily, fulfilling the core function of social network. So, parang online tambayan lang siya kung saan pwedeng makipagkwentuhan or mag-share ng mga buhay with friends or even new people. So for example, dyan sa IG, nag-post ka, pwede kang mag-send or mag-message sa friends mo, ganon. And next is bookmarking sites. Then, these sites allow the users to save, organize, manage links to website and any number of online resources. On these sites, the users have the ability to tag links, making those links easier to search for and find again or share with other followers. Example, Pinterest and Reddit. So, bookmarking site let users save, organize, or other online content so they can easily find them later. Then sa pag pag-tag naman, mag-add ka lang ng keywords or labels to a saved links that describe what it is about. So, ang example dyan is Pinterest and Reddit. So, kung nakagamit na kayo ng Pinterest, these are load of images or videos kung saan you can save it for a while at pwede mong balikan. And sa Reddit naman is bukod sa pag-share ng mga links, may mga discussion din na pwedeng salihan ng mga users tungkol sa mga bookmarking sites. Example is promoting products or ideas. And number 3 is social news. These sites allow the users to post new links, articles, videos, pictures, and other items to outside articles. And users vote on the items, and the items with the highest number of votes are displayed the most prominently with the most visibility on the sites. So it means people choose their favorite items by voting, and the ones with the most votes get shown more clearly and often to everyone can see them easily. So sa social news sites are like communities kung saan tayo ang nagde-decide kung ano ang mga balita o content. Ang importante at trending based sa collective votes ng mga users. An example of that, these websites are Reddit, Newsvines, and Newscloud. So, these platforms where people share news and votes to decide which stories are popular and easy to find. And number 4 is media sharing. And these sites allow the users to upload and share different types of media, such as pictures and videos. Most of these sites also social features like ability to create profile and ability to comment on other material. So example is YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. So ibig sabihin nito is pwede kang maglagay ng mga pictures or videos sa mga website na ito. Pag nilagay mo na ito, pwedeng makita ng ibang tao or nag-share ka ng memories or something na gusto mong ipakita sa mga kaibigan mo or kahit kanino. So, sa mga sites na ito, pwede kang gumawa ng profile or parang sarili mong account na may picture or pangalan na may any information about you, and kung pwede ka ring mag-comment sa mga post ng iba, like ibig sabihin pwede kang mag-iwan ng message or opinion kahit sa picture or video. Then nakakatulong ito para may interaction kayo sa users. Pero dapat tandaan pa rin natin na dapat responsible tayo sa mga pinopost natin kasi nakikita ito ng maraming tao. And then mahalaga rin ang media sharing kasi nakakapag-share ka ng ideas, experience, and creativity. At nakakatulong din siya para makipag-connect sa friends o mag-promote ng isang bagay like business or advocacy. And that's all.
So good day everyone. The next one is the microblogging. So ano nga ba ang microblogging? Microblogging, this site allows the users to submit short written entries, photos or media such as links to product and service sites, as well as links to other social media sites. These short updates can be seen by anyone subscribed to receive the updates. So, ang microblogging is parang mini vlog lang. Ito yung magpo-post ka ng thoughts mo, updates, or links, pero super short lang siya. Usually, ang microblogging is may character limit. In here, parang nakikipagchikahan ka lang sa friends mo online but in public and mabilis makita ng maraming tao. Hindi siya yung parang full-blown na essay or mahabang article na ginagawa sa traditional blog. Ito, in here is instant and on the go yung datingan. Like for example is yung Twitter and Tumblr. Ito yung classic example ng microblogging dahil dito may limit words, so dapat you need to be witty and direct. And ang goal talaga ng microblogging is yung mabilis mag-share ng information and mag-engage sa iba. The next one is blogging, blog comment, and online forums. Blog. Blog are sites, information, and discussion. So kung ang microblogging is for short text and mabilisang chika online, well, blogging naman is mas narrow and mas mahaba na version. Sa blogging, nagsusulat ka ng sa blogging parang nagsusulat ka ng essay or article online, and in here mas detailed ang mga ideas mo. May space ka talaga para mag-explain, mag-reflect, or magbigay ng in-depth na reviews. Walang limit sa character unlike sa microblogging na meron. Like for example, sa microblogging magpo-post ka lang ng sarap ng ramen sa ramen place. Pero sa blogging, mas magsusulat ka ng ilang paragraphs kung ano yung lasa ng sabaw, anong ingredients ang ginamit, gaano ka-tender yung pork, or gaano kabilis ang service. And magkaka-picture pa ng ambience. So, yung blog, ito yung platform kung saan mo binibigay yung full story and buong karanasan, hindi lang yung summary. And for the blog comments are usually centered around the specific subject of the attached blog. So, sa blog comments naman is, ito yung interactive part ng blogging. Like kunwari, imagine na nagbasa ka ng isang article sa blog post, tapos doon mo sasabihin yung mga thoughts mo, yung mga gusto mong sabihin or i-react. Yan yung ginagawa sa comment section sa ilalim ng post. Ang blog comments ang nagsisilbing discussion forum o feedback area ng blog. Dito, nag-uusap and nag-e-engage yung reader at yung blogger o kaya yung mga reader mismo. And for the next one is the online forum. It's a site that allows the users to engage in conversations by posting and responding to the community messages. So kung ang blog comments ay focus lang sa isang article, ang forum naman is parang malaking virtual community center kung saan maraming discussions ang nagaganap ng sabay-sabay. Ito yung mga websites na nakaka-organize sa iba't ibang topics o categories and tinatawag itong subforums or threads. Like for example, may forum para sa video games, tapos sa loob noon, may subforum para sa Mobile Legends, ML players. At sa loob pa noon, may thread para sa discussions about sa new patch updates. And ang ginagawa ng mga tao, magpo-post sila ng questions or opinions o tips na tinatawag na posting, and the other member naman is sasagot o magre-react sa post na yon. Para siyang never-ending group chat, pero mas organized and public sa lahat ng members. So, kung gusto mong magtanong ng detailed tungkol sa kunwari, paggawa ng DIY project, doon sa forum ka magpo-post, then may mga expert na makakasagot doon. So, ang main goal ng forum is magbigay ng lugar para makipag-usap sa mga taong may parehong interest. Next. Now let's proceed to the impact of social media on society. There are three positive impacts: the global connectivity, democratization of information, and social movements. The first one is global connectivity. How it connects people across borders for personal, professional, and political purposes. So, because of social media, mas nagiging maliit ang mundo. Like, ang dating matagal at mahal na overseas calls o letters, mas naging instant message na lang siya ngayon. And ito ang nagbibigay daan para magkaroon tayo ng global connectivity and culture exchange. Like for example, isang student ng ISPSC na madaling makakita ng art trends mula sa Korea. Then, in here, mas naiintindihan natin ang iba't ibang culture and perspective. Mas nagiging madali ang pagbuo ng mga interest-based communities na hindi limitado sa physical locations. And for democratization of information, it empowers individuals to be content creators and journalists, bypassing traditional media gatekeepers. So democratization of information is isa sa pinakamalaking impact ng social media sa society. Dati ang mga malalaking media companies lang ang may kapangyarihan na magbigay ng balita. But now, lahat na is pwedeng maging reporter and publisher. Like yung mga ordinaryong tao is pwede na mag-share ng pangyayari sa kanilang lugar real time na tinatawag na citizen journalism. Dahil dito, mas nagiging transparent ang mga kaganapan at nahihirapan ang mga may kapangyarihan na itago ang katotohanan. Mas madali na rin nating ma-access ang educational resources, scientific research, and diverse viewpoints na dati ay mahirap abutin. So, ang social media ang nagbigay ng kapangyarihan sa bawat individual na makakuha at magbahagi ng information kaya mas naging informed ang publiko. And for the last one is the social movements. Explain how social media facilitate activism and social change. So, ang social media is naging powerhouse para sa social movements and advocacies. Kung may gusto kang ipaglaban, ang paggamit ng isang hashtag lang is pwede nang makapag-organize ng milyong tao. Mabilis nitong mamobilize ng mga tao para sa protesta o petisyon, fundraising efforts para sa isang cause. Like for example is yung relief operations o environmental campaigns. Nagbibigay ito ng platform sa mga marginalized voice na hindi napapansin ng mainstream media. Kaya mas mabilis na naipaparating sa gobyerno o sa publiko ang kanilang hinaing. Ito ang nagpapakita na ang social media ay hindi lang para sa chismis. Isa itong tool for collective action and pushing for societal change. And for the negative impacts, it will be discussed by Mark Lawrence.
So a pleasant morning to each and everyone. So I'm here to discuss the negative side of social media on society. So the first one is online harassment or cyberbullying. So nangyayari ito kapag when people use social media to hurt o para insultin ang iba na nagdudulot o nagdadahilan para maging malungkot, matakot o mawalan ng tiwala sa sarili. Like for example, one of your friend magkagalit kayo. So gumawa siya ng way upang siraan ka or ipahiya ka. So the second one is digital divide or inequality of access. So not everyone has internet or gadgets. So some people can study, work, or connect with other like who or we do. So like for example, sa mga naninirahan sa bundok, di ba, kadalasan wala silang access of internet. So bumababa sila dito sa kapatagan upang di ba maghanap na signals. And so let's proceed to the 3 impacts of social media on society. So the first one is misinformation or fake news. So social media nowadays can easily spread wrong or fake information na pwedeng magdulot ng kalituan or away. Like for example, if makikita yung matagay fake that celebrity nga ipopost na into Facebook. So nagiging parents tayo, 'di ba? Maniniwala dapat without fact checking. So doon na pumapasok yung misinformation or fake news. So the second one is mental health. So in social media can affect our feelings when we always see negative comments o nakakaranas ng masasakit na salita. So like for example, sometimes if nag-open tayo ng comments sa Facebooks and TikToks, di ba some comment is nagsasakit dagajay, ay kas lang ay nagsasakit dagajay, iba't bato da nga comments about kanya na or ibababada di confident. Pero kung nararanasan nyo ito, wag dapat masyadong damdamin ang mga negative. So lagi nyo na lang tatandaan na mental health matters. So and lastly, privacy or data security. So many people don't realize that when they post personal information online, so pwedeng gamitin to ng mga hackers or ibang tao para nakawin ang kanilang account o pagkakakilanlan. So like for example, di ba, Jay like for example, Jay, best friend mo, nga dim amom kat na hack aja accountant. So daddy friend mo nag-send kanyang itilink. So si kamot nga curious, pinindot mo mat. So dim amo na access na pala yung account mo. So that's all. Thank you.
So hello guys, gising po ba kayo? Nakikinig po ba kayo? So we have prepared a parang segment lang kasi we actually had the confusion sa module kung ipapagawa ba namin sa iyo or kami yung gagawa. But let's do both na lang, di ba? So first, before we start navigating trends, ano ba yung mga nangyayari sa social media? At paano natin to susolusyonan or pag nagka-encounter tayo ng problema, paano natin itong mga susolusyonan? So first, when you debate part pala, parang debate segment to. So the proposition is when you think of social media, do you see it as something that sets people free or something that controls them? Liberation or control? So meron tayong dalawa ditong, kanina narinig nyo na rin sila sa positive impacts at sa negative impacts. Sa team liberation, dito tayo kay Reyna Bel Cortez. Sa control naman si Mark Lawrence Castro. But first, before we start the debate na ginawa namin or gagawin pa lang namin, try nyo nga mag-comment dito sa comment section or sa chat with everyone kung sa tingin nyo or i-hashtag team liberation ba kayo or hashtag team control. For example, magko-comment na ako ngayon ng team control. Try nyo nga lahat kung nakikinig din ba kayo. Your thoughts lang naman, wala namang bad or good answer. Lahat naman tama. Nay, kung saan ako makikita? Guys. Jai, John Lester Angala. Yung about the others, nakikinig po ba kayo? Team control. Tawad, liberation, team liberation. Nawala na. Paingay. Sige, comment kayo pa. Sige, comment kayo. Na talagang adumdumog kayo talaga. Nag-tiktok kayo ta. Okay. Some others say team control, team liberation. But let's find out. So the team liberation, Miss Reyna Bel Cortez, the floor is yours.
So I stand with the idea that social media is a tool for liberation. It gives a voice to the marginalized. So nagbibigay ito ng boses sa mga marginalized kasi nga ano ba yung marginalized? So sila yung mga tao na normally parang di sila normally or ordinary people na walang power. So by having this liberation thing, may chance na silang magsalita may chance na silang magsalita, di ba? So parang at last may maririnig na din sila. And it's a platform for free speech and protest. So for free speech and protest, guys, alam nyo na to, di ba? Na ang ibig sabihin, pwede kang mag-express ng opinions mo nang walang takot na makukulong ka kaagad. And pwede kang mag-rally o mag-protest para sa mga pinaniniwalaan mo. So magiging malakas yung boses ng tao dito. And it allows for the formation of diverse, interest-based communities. Wait.
So thank you, Reynabel Cortez,
No,
for...
wait.
Ay, meron...
And finally, ang maganda pa dito, pinapayagan nito ang pagbuo ng iba't ibang communities na based sa interest. Like for example, kung mahilig ka sa K-pop o sa vintage clothes o sa environmentalism, makakahanap ka ng kapwa mo na pareho ng hilig online. Dito, hindi ka na lonely sa hobby mo. So, magiging mas diverse at connected yung mga tao kasi nga sa iisang passion sila nagkakaisa. And for summary, ang main point ng liberation is for freedom, voice, and connection. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Miss Reynabel. At sorry dahil parang inano kita kanina. So, nakakaano naman kasi, sinabi niya ang social media is for our freedom. So, how about the other side, the argument side, that will be, say, telling Mr. Mark Lawrence Castro.
So, hello everyone. So, I'm here to defend the control side. Well, it's true that social media connects people and it also controls them in ways we don't always see. Those friendly algorithms, they decide what we see and what we don't, creating echo chambers where we only hear opinions that match our own. So, our personal data is constantly tracked and sold for target ads. Every click, every like, every second we scroll is being watched. And beyond that, governments and corporations can use the same platform for propaganda, twisting information to shape how we think. So ask yourself, are you truly free or are we being guided by invisible hands? That's all. Thank you.
Okay, napakagandang mga argumento by both two sides. Yung isa nagsasabi ng freedom, yung isa naman kinokontrol daw tayo. So may mga nagbago ba ng isip dyan or lumipat ng side? Because convincing naman yung dalawa. But I concluded, or that concludes that both naman talaga sila. Talagang social media can liberate boys na kung saan naka-express nila yung sarili nila, by expressing themselves online, posting, nagiging confident sila doon. But it can also manipulate minds. Kasi yung mga algorithms na napapansin natin, na kung saan, na-discuss na rin ata nito Ma'am Haramilya noong last quarter, na kung saan itong algorithms na nakikita natin online ay na-adapt yung mga preference natin. Parang kunyari nanood ka ng video ni Malupiton, tapos nag-like ka, nag-comment ka, nag-share ka, then probably may next doon na magsasabi na similar content of this video. So parang yung mga nakikita mo online is parang pinapakita na sa inyo kung ano ka ba talagang tao. Or some others din, may mga nakikita silang contents doon that can be controlling na kung saan may mga fake news, kagaya ng mga negative impacts. So maybe the real question isn't whether it's a tool for liberation or control. Maybe it's about how we choose to use it. Tama nga naman, kung paano natin to ginagamit, mabuti ba or masama. So is social media your freedom or your both, or your chain or both? So that's all for the debate part. So let's proceed to the media analysis, a case study, Flood of Luxury, a media analysis case study that will be discussed by Althea Natalie Sabado.
So So, flood of luxury, a media analysis case study. Is social media a tool for exposing corruption? So, familiar ba lahat sa mga images na ito na naka-present? Mag-react na lang guys. If familiar kayo. If updated ba kayo kung nakikita nyo sa mga social medias nyo, sa Facebook, sa TikTok, sa IG. Ayan, madami naman. Sige, next. So, ang source natin na pagkakuhanan nitong mga information is the content was created mainly by Filipino netizens, regular citizens who use social media posts, hashtags, and tweets to expose the issue. They shared videos and pictures of contractors' children showing off their rich lifestyle, even though the government was struggling with flood control problems. Their main goal was to expose corruption and nepotism, especially since the luxury they showed came from money linked to the public projects. So, dito is nakikita natin from Filipino netizens lang to, so regular lang yung mga mahilig mag-post, mag-share, ganun. Excuse me. So dito, anyone and everyone who has access to internet can share their information. And kung ito naman, kung ito, if a fact check mo naman, is very widely naman ang information sa internet, not only relying on one post, but malawak naman ang internet. So, pwede mo naman siyang tingnan if totoo and not. But still, there are also some news and also some people bibigay ng mga reliable information about this, especially sa issue natin ngayon na mga Disney princess and prince ng Philippines. Okay, next. So, sino ba yung mga audience natin? So, ang main audience talaga is mga Filipino public, especially taxpayers who are frustrated with corruption. The content appealed to their sense of injustice, showing how rich they could afford luxuries like designer items and trip abroads, while many Filipino lives in flooded or poor conditions. This emotional reaction made people share and comment, helping the post spread even more. So this, mas napapabilis yung pagkalat ng mga information. So, ito, especially yung mga taxpayers, well, honestly, lahat naman tayo nagbabayad ng tax, napag-aralan naman natin yon, which is sa mga binibili natin, is yung meron yung VAT doon, which is yung 12%. So, dito, pinapakita yung injustice sa mga tao. So, makikita lahat ng mga nangyayari sa iba't ibang lugar, sa Maynila, sa lahat ng areas na hindi natapos yung flood controls, while yung mga anak ng governors is nagpo-post lang ng mga trip nila sa France, kung emotional break, parang dahil sila yung ina-attack ng mga Filipino people, especially mostly ang mga Filipino people is active sa online. Which is yun din, ang one way din, yung rally, which is you can see at the presentation, mas na maraming tao ang naging aware, while the others still are, hindi pa rin sila well-informed sa issue na ito. Okay, next. So, yung message na binibigay para sa lahat is very clear. Some contractors and public officials misuse the public funds for personal benefit. Ignoring the needs of the people, it carried a strong bias, corruption, and privilege. But this bias reflected public frustration, the desire for honesty and accountability. So, yun nga, mas Na-mention nga ni Patrick yung about sa algorithm, yung controlled. So yung this is one way din kung maraming tao yung nag-i-interact dito is mas parang mas ma-push yung platform algorithm na maikalat pa na nationwide. So, parang individual post lang to, tapos magiging to nationwide conversation, tapos magiging digital protest din na to against corruption. So, dito nilalaban ng mga tao yung honesty and accountability and also the transparency of the funds na ginagamit for these types of projects, not only the flood control projects. Next tayo. So, yung platform impact nito, mostly sa Twitter or well-known as yung X na ngayon, Facebook and TikTok, sila yung mga social media na nag-play ng huge role sa pag-spread ng information and sa issue na ito. Mostly yung features such as shares, retweets, and hashtags help the post go viral. The more people reacted and commented, the more algorithm push the post to others, creating a nationwide conversation. Social media turn individual voices into a digital process. Just like I said kanina. Aware naman kasi lahat. Ongoing pa rin ang issue na ito. And also, just like I said na hindi lang naman yung flood project yung issue dito. Next. So, reflecting to this issue, it proves that social media isn't just for fun. It's a powerful tool for awareness and truth. It shows that ordinary people can use social media to hold the powerful accountable. But it also reminds us to think critically and verify what we share because viral posts can shape public opinion fast. But the harsh truth, while it is a powerful tool, people are reminded that viral posts yun nga, yung nasabi na think critically and verify what is being shared. Baka naman kasi fake news yung nakikita nyo, hindi na i-verify. Nag-rely lang kayo sa isang post. So, dito, hindi lang talaga like katuwaan lang, hindi lang siya for entertainment, hindi lang siya pang school project, but ito, nagiging aware tayo sa katotohanan. I hope everyone is aware doon sa balita na wala daw na during the rally doon sa Maynila, yung papuntang Malacanang, I think doon sa bridge doon. Marami kasing live during sa TikTok. Hopefully, nakikita naman ng iba. Is nasabi sa balita na wala naman daw casualties na nasaktan, wala daw nasaksak, walang nabaril, which is wrong. Kasi ang alam naman natin is very controlled talaga ang news. Sinasabi lang nila sa news is mostly mga police ang mga nasaktan. Pero honestly, madami din nagko-comment doon na may mga ordinary people, Filipino, na mga nasaksak, may nabaril, which is kitang-kita yun sa live. So yun talaga ang katotohanan ng paggamit din ng social media. Yun lamang, and thank you. Next report would be the etiquettes. May pa-games pa pala si John Patrick. Sige, thank you.
So since the call will end the 10 minutes, pwede tayong gumawa ng bago kasi hindi ako naka-upgrade dun sa Google One. So papatayin ko muna to and mag-send ulit ako ng other links. +20 naman na yun nandito. So let's proceed to the next segment na kung saan the visual commentary, the authenticity crisis in the age of AI-generated content, AI or real. So magtatawag lang ako ng 5 tao na kung saan I want to know their insight about dun sa mga ipe-present kong picture. Or call known AI ba or real? Can you tell the difference between something made by AI and something real? Let's find out. Kung sino yung gustong 5 tao, mag-raise lang kayo ng hand. madali lang to, hindi kayo pagpapawisan, sasabihin nyo lang or real or natawag doon, real ba or AI? Again, yung kakapasok, sinong gustong sumagot ng number 1 to number 1, pwedeng 5 tao. So kung ayaw nyo, magtatawag na lang ako. Si Kaman man, Jemar Piawan.
Open nyo dahil.
Okay, number 1. Real ba data or AI?
Real.
Paya. Screen mo na paya.
Kasla kuha mo, trail mo, hindi kayo kuha na.
Okay, thank you. So ito nga is real. So next one. Sino nga ta? Godwin, sigan. Oh, real ba or AI?
Bray. AI.
Nya?
AI.
Paya.
Di ko, dagay, bulbulong, ada kas ko. Lang na ipalibot na lang yung team may isa ko. Okay?
Okay, thank you for your insights. Kaso, ito ay real. Ginawa to sa kanyang magandang photography. So, sino pa yan next? May gusto bang sumagot? Sino nga ta? Anon, suka mo to. Give chance to other. Ni Dom. Dom Leonard. Dom, adda ka ba ta? Nandiyan ka ba, Dom?
One pa.
Toy. Real or AI?
Wait. Real.
Okay. Nya?
Real.
Sure kan? Kaya. Isa po siya AI. Kami nung kita ang man na ako man na isang siguro tatay, ipa nagigum na di ballpen. Or siguro nyo lang talaga nalasin. So next one, sino ba yung atamaying kayat? Ayan ni John Ben siya na ba? Number 4. Real ba or fake? Or AI? Kuya John.
I think real naman.
Bakit?
Kasi nakita kas to iding ako nga frogan.
Okay, thank you. Ang answer naman is AI. Nakuha ko to sa Britannia, yung mga nakukuha ko dito. And sabi niya dito, may mga simple daw yung round spot. Kaso hindi ko na-paste yung real one. Parang mas hindi siya masyadong complex. Ay, mas complex yung mga dots niya doon. So, AI generated po siya. So, next one. Sino pa kaya may gusto? Last one. Sige kay ma'am. Get mo, ma'am. Mata, ma'am. Real ba AI? Ryan tayo
Stone.
Ada ni mamo niya, Stone. Mama niya, ma'am. Real or AI?
Simbagan ma'am tatay.
Ma'am, real ba siya or AI? Zoom ko ba basta? Mapaya. True. Inaccurate hieroglyph. Okay. Tapos, yun nga po, thank you po for participation. So, let's proceed dun sa discussion. The authenticity crisis in the age of AI. So, ayun nga, AI can now create images, videos, music, and even text that look and sound real. These are called AI-generated content, often seen on social media. It's harder to know if what we see online, real ba or fake. Kasi nag-a-advance na rin tayo. Kasi now, AI, pwede na silang mag-produce ng mga image, videos, music, na parang totoo na. Like unlike before, hindi pa masyadong enhanced. Madali pa natin siyang ma-identify. But now, mahirap na. So next one, AI tools can imitate human voice and faces perfectly. Deepfakes and fake news can spread quickly on social media. Many users believe or share false information unknowingly. So sa lahat ng mga na-encounter nating AI-generated video, for example, yung experience ko, may nakikita akong mga aso na binubuhat yung bata, tapos pinagtatapon. Tapos some others, parang naniniwala sila doon. And others then ma-identify nila. So the question is, how can we trust what we see if it might not be real or totoo ba o hindi, di ba? So unang-una, check the source. Kung verified ba or trustworthy yung mga account. Yung mga other content creators kasi, may linilabel nila kung AI content or AI generated content yung pinapost nila. Yun yung mga responsible na mga content creators. Pag nakita mo na yun, pwede mo lang sabihin ang totoo. Pero may next part, lulok mo yung evidence. Kung saan, totoo ba to? Magsisearch ka rin ng mga iba't ibang, i-compare mo yung mga ibang pictures kung totoo ba yun o hindi. So, analyze the content. Are the details consistent and realistic? And ito, use tools, fast check website, and AI detection tools can help. Meron na rin po tayong mga advanced na websites na kung saan na check natin kung AI generated ba or human. And sometimes, trust your gut. Kasi may mga ibang pictures na kung saan AI generated pero sa tingin natin, nasa stock knowledge na natin, na parang iba ata yun, di ba? So you start wondering. So you may check the source, look for evidence, analyze the contents, use tools. So next one, ethical implication. Nga, yung mga content creators, maglagay ng mga label kung saan ba AI ba to or content lang nila para ma-avoid yung confusion sa mga viewers. Next one is avoid creating fake news, deepfakes, or harmful materials na nakakasama. But it can be used for innovation, not deception. So next one is for the audience. Yun nga, think critically before sharing content online. Totoo ba to o hindi? And support ethical creators who use AI responsibly. Before you share, stop and compare. So maybe the problem in AI itself, it's how we see as humans choose to use it. Let's be responsible creators and smart consumers in this digital age. So next part is the practicing online etiquette na na-discuss na rin sa digital citizenship. Pero magka-connect din sila at yun nga, nagkaroon ng video. Yung iba siguro hindi pa napanood. And let's take this opportunity. So Danemark Ortiz.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, I am Danemark Ortiz and I will be discussing the rule 1 to 5 of netiquette. Rule number 1. Remember the human. When communicating electronically, whether through email, instant message, discussion post, text, or some other method, practice the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Remember your written words are read by real people, all deserving of respectful communication. Before you press, send, or submit, ask yourself first, would I be okay with this if someone else had written it? Rule number 2. Adhere to the same standards of behavior online that you follow in real life. Just because you're online doesn't mean the rules don't apply. Be honest, respectful, and follow the laws. You are still responsible of your actions in the virtual world. Virtual world. Example, if you wouldn't steal something in real life, don't download pirated movies or software online. Rule number 3. Know where you are in cyberspace. Different online space have different expectations. What's acceptable in a group chat with friends may not be okay in a professional email or classroom discussion. Learn the tone and purpose of the space before posting. Example, a casual, "Hey, what's up?" is fine in a text to a friend, but not in an email to to your teacher. A better greeting would be, "Good morning, Miss Smith." Rule number 4. Respect other people's time and bandwidth. Don't waste people times with long, off-topic, or unnecessary messages. Be clear and to the point. Also avoid sending large files or graphics unless necessary. Example, instead of sending a 10-paragraph email with lots of attachments, summarize your point in a few lines and ask if they like more info. Rule number 5. Make yourself look good online. People can see or hear you online. They only know you through your writing. So, write clearly, check your grammar, and always be polite. This, this shows professionalism and intelligence. Example, instead of writing, "I don't know what you're saying, lol," write, "I'm not sure I understand. Could you explain that again, please?" Next reporter, Kenneth Udaos.
I am Kenneth Udaus. Rule number 6. Share experts' knowledge. If you know something that can be help others, share it. The internet was built for sharing information and learning. Helping others also sure are a team player. Example, if you find a great online tool for a math practice, post the link in your class group chat with our short note. This helped me understand fraction better. Maybe it can help you too. Rule number 7. Help keep flame war under control. A flame is when someone posts a rude or angry comment. A flame war happens when people keep arguing back and forth. Don't join in or make worse. Instead, try to calm the situation or ignore it. For example, if people are arguing in a group chat, say something like, let's get back to the topic, guys. We're all there to learn." Rule number 8. Respect others people's privacy. Don't share someone else's personal information without permission, just like you want your privacy protected. Others to do. Once something is online, it's hard to take it back. For example, don't screenshot a private conversation and post it in social media. That could embarrass or harm the other person. Rule number 9. Don't abuse your power. If you have more knowledge or control in an online settings, use it wisely. Don't bully, threaten, or take advantage of people who know less than you. Example, if you if if you are group admin, don't delete someone post just because you don't agree. Use your power fairly and listen to everyone's voice. Rule number 10. Forgiving of others people's mistakes. Everyone was new to the internet once. Not everyone types perfectly or knows the rules. Be patient, kind, and helpful rather than critic. critical. For example, if someone misspells something or asks a basic question, don't laugh. Instead, kindly respond with, no worries. That is a great question. Here's how you can do it. Thank you.
So lastly, the conclusion is the power of social media lies not in the platform, but in the purpose of those who use it. That's all. Thank you. These are the list of members, references. Ni. Wala. Okay, thank you po. Mamanya dyan, paulit yung question.
Paulit nga po.
Ma'am ko. For me, as a student and as a user in the social media, I really want to apply in my personality that think critically and not believe everything you see or read. Yung kagaya nga po sinabi ko kanina, i-assess muna natin yung mga information sa mga social media kasi pwedeng maging good news yon and fake news. So, ganun po, ma'am.
Dadagdagan ko lang po yung kay Patrick. Yun nga po yung sabi niya po na i-analyze yung mga information na nakikita natin sa social media. As a student din po, ang matututunan ko po sa social media, it's not all about all fun and jokes. Mostly po doon is yun nga po na i-mention yung mga negative and positive impacts. Pwede din siyang, yung onting galaw may possible na makaka-apekto sa iba, may possible din po na positive din po. So, for me as a student po na think wisely and think before you click nga po when it comes of using of social media po. Yun po, ma'am.
Woke up like this na Jemar. No?